But I also know you're a bit of a biohacker yourself, and there are other things in your toolbox of optimizing health. What are some of those things that you've seen really helped you with your, whether they be wellness practices, techniques, technology?
Yeah, meditation really saved my brain and my mental health many years ago when I was probably at my darkest, in a bit of a depression. So I do think there's really cool meditation technologies now that actually use audio frequencies to help harmonize the sides of the brain. And when you listen to them in headphones, I think that's really powerful. Qigong is a lesser known sort of sister to things like yoga and Tai Chi. I've practiced that on and off for a while. I'm not an expert, but it does bring me peace. One thing that I think has been the biggest game changer is saunas, sauna therapy. So when I got an at-home sauna, I use one by a company called Sauna Space, which is really cool because it's grounded. The mat is grounded. It has an EMF protection, what's called a Faraday cage. It blocks outside signals. And you're also getting that red light therapy at the same time as the heat. And, heat therapy and sauna, it does have a lot to do with this element of fire that we were talking about with, pharmacy of light, how light works and how fire works. That this is kind of that same elemental principle where when we tap into these four elements, earth, air, water, and fire, the heat piece is really powerful. And then also, the opposite end of the spectrum, the cold exposure. We have these crazy studies, jaw-dropping results from people that are exposed to sauna therapy and in longevity and reduction in heart disease, and even similarly on the sunlight topic. It's a form of that same heat energy. And there was a study in Sweden that showed, I think it was like 30,000 women that they followed for about 20 years. And the most sun exposure was the lowest mortality. They lived the longest, which is contradictory to what a lot of people are raised up to think, to slather on all those chemical toxins to block the sun. God forbid, this planet that we all evolved on that had a sun, what were we doing for those millions of years, hundreds of thousands of years as humans without all that sun cream? But the women who were most exposed to the sun was such a cool fact, and maybe you've heard this or your listeners have heard this, was the women who were exposed to the most sun, even if they smoked, they did as well as the non-smokers in the lower sun exposure group, which points to, light deficiency may be, according to that study and others, may be as negatively impactful as smoking. And think of all the campaigns that we hear about smoking, and people have the freedom to do it if they so choose. But all of that information that we now know about the harmful effects of smoking, imagine if we had something like that about you got to get your sunlight exposure, a healthy dose, as we said, right? Everything in the right proportions. Imagine if that was part of our culture in a similar way, if that's what the data is showing. So sunlight, and connecting to nature. I mean, I really try to practice it. The sun is not out very much where I live right now these days, which is a challenge. But what I've found is the red light therapy, some other vitamin D lamps that I use, and the sauna is really what keeps me through winter months. And anybody that is not saunaing, you gotta, I don't know if that's the right verb, but you gotta try it out. You just get so much benefit in such a short time. And there's really nothing like it that shows to extend lifespan and overall health quite like doing a sauna session.
Yeah, no, I concur with that. And, the ROI on investment like that, because number one, most of the things you said, meditation, other things are zero input types of investments to get a lot in return, being sunlight and other things you could get into technology. But the science is absolutely there with, saunas, whether they are infrared or not even. Right. You can make cases for both and using both. But even people like Dr. James D. Nicolantonio, which I've had on a bunch, just pushes all of that science. Like there is, too much behind it now to say, all right, maybe it's still controversial. We don't know enough, the whole, we need more studies to figure out what it is. Like, no, There is so much benefit from detoxification to autophagy, like, too much there to say, let's not do it. I think we have to put ourselves in places of some stress, like we do with cold or hot therapy, in a sense, to make us stronger. Like people always get this. They get the gym. You go to the gym, you have to work hard. You feel like crap the next day because you're all sore and everything. But that's how you get bigger, right? That's how you have to rip the muscle, actually. You have to stress the body to become better, stronger, faster, quicker, all that. And yet we only think of that in terms of the gym usually, that we will sacrifice, like, no pain, no gain. Yet we don't do it in all other aspects. We try to avoid that. We don't want the headache, so we go right to the pain relievers that are toxic. We don't want to sweat, so we put on antiperspirants with, aluminum in them. We always go for these fatal conveniences, as Darren Olean puts it, and avoid it when in reality, those types of stressors are so impactful on our health. So I love that toolkit. It's very foundational. It's not too much, right? Because sometimes it's overwhelming what some people do to, hundreds of pills and all the gadgets and everything. So that was an amazing one. Rob, where can people learn more about you and all the projects you're involved in?
Yeah, so there's earthconsciouslife.org. And that is kind of our umbrella platform for the films and the other work that we do. Theneedtogrow.com is where you can find out more about the film about agricultural solutions and regenerating our soil. It's a very inspiring, human-driven story. It's not quite just a boring soil story or about farming. There's quite a few twists and turns. It's more of a hero's journey. So if you haven't seen that, I really highly recommend that you check it out. And tip.news is where that news platform is, and anybody can join that for free. And we've got a couple more things coming over time with other films, and we do have something about the gut-brain axis and mental wellness that we're working on as well. So more to come, but it'll all be at earthconsciouslife.org.
Amazing. We'll put up links for all of that. Rob, thank you so much for your work and coming on today.
It's been a pleasure, and likewise to you. Thanks for helping people share the passions and the journey that they're on to hopefully inspire more people to get into the participation of it. Really, is all it is. You will feel better, whether that's environmentally or on your human health. So I appreciate people like you that are helping us with this platform.
Thank you. Thank you. So as you heard, the future of our health and the health of our planet is in our hands. We have power, people. Do we have what it takes to change our society and our world for the better? That's up to us. Until next time, keep writing your own healing story.